Welcome back to Pokemon Tabletop Reimagined, a Pokemon Tabletop RPG created by me that aims to make the game fun, understandable, and easy to run and play while fulfilling your Pokemon trainer fantasies. Today we'll be going over the Pokemon Ranger class, which is a very powerful class in this game. It's the most similar thing we have to Druid in other games, if you want to make that comparison. Very loosely though, you'll see what I'm talking about. We've got some good abilities here. So first off, you start with 10 HP as a Pokemon Ranger. You get an extra point to your defense, an extra point to your special defense, -1 point to your attack, and -1 point to your special attack. In terms of skill advantages, you have advantage on Pokemon handling rolls, which is always very helpful. History, which is a little more niche, but can really come in handy in certain situations. And Nature, which is going to play into the class itself, so we'll talk about that later. Right out the gate at level 1, you have probably one of the most powerful abilities in the game, called Poketalk. With Poketalk, you can loosely communicate with Pokemon. Pokemon can't tell you things in great detail, but you can understand simple details from them, emotions, desires, and instructions that most people can't. This effectively gives you a direct line of communication with all the Pokemon, which can be really pivotal to solving mysteries, uncovering key figures in certain plots, and is just super just generally useful skill to have. I have a player in my game who's playing a Pokemon Ranger, and this ability has just come in handy so much. So they've uncovered a lot of info just by talking with Pokemon and just getting the general vibe of what's going on, what the Pokemon's all wrapped up in, and what their problem is. It's very valuable. Do not underestimate this ability. At level 2, you get probably one of the most iconic features of a Pokemon Ranger, which is the Ranger Rental ability. As an action, you can harness the power of a wild Pokemon within 60 feet temporarily. You can cause the Pokemon to move and perform one action or task of your choice after you gain control, and after they complete that action or task or whatever, they'll leave your control. So basically, you get to take a Pokemon, rope them into the situation, have them perform a task or an action that'll help you, and then they leave. It's just like how it works in the Pokemon Ranger games, essentially. Pokemon that are hostile towards you cannot be controlled with Ranger Rental unless they fail a defensive saving throw, with the effect DC being determined by whatever your active trainer's effect DC is. You also gain 2 stat points to allocate to any non-HP trainer stats that you want, and you gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max. At level 3, we have your most important ability called Battle Bond. Twice per long rest, you can connect with your Pokemon spiritually as a bonus action, and while connected, the Pokemon gains an extra 15 feet to its movement speed, and your trainer stats, bonuses, and effect DC can be used in place of your Pokemon stats and whatnot, and vice versa, whenever you want. So what this means is that, say your Pokemon has a low attack stat, you can use your trainer's attack stat in place of your Pokemon's attack stat whenever they make an attack that requires the attack stat. And this works in vice versa as well. If you need to, for example, jump across from one roof to another, and your speed is really low, so that acrobatic skill check might be dangerous, you can use your Pokemon's speed bonus instead if you're battle bonded to them. Additionally, you can see and hear whatever that Pokemon does and can command it even when it cannot hear you. So this is where the Druid aspect actually comes into play, because you can maybe, for example, battle bond with a flying Pokemon, fly up, scout out the area, or get into a window that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. You could use an aquatic Pokemon to swim down and grab something using their eyes and ears to look around for it. This is sort of a pseudo Druid state you can enter. However, the Battle Bond state will end automatically after 10 minutes, or if you end it manually with a bonus action, or when the Pokemon you're connected to is KO'd. Wild Pokemon that you don't own can also have the Battle Bond ability used on them, but you have to Ranger Rental them first. You also gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP at this level. At level 4, we get the One with Nature ability, and this is where some pseudo spell casting comes into play. During short rests in this game, you have the option to go foraging. When you're foraging, you have to make a nature check, and if you succeed, you can find around 4 to 6 berries. However, when the Pokemon Ranger performs a forage check during short rests, they will always find 6 berries if they succeed. And that's not all, because they'll also be able to specify which berries they would like 3 of the found berries to be. This is extremely significant because there is a large variety of berries in the game with a wide variety of effects. Some berries just cure status conditions, but other berries can provide you with things such as dark vision, x-ray vision, water breathing, extra reach on your melee attacks, and so on and so forth. This is where the pseudo spell casting comes into play. Items in this game are used as a bonus action, so during the Pokemon Ranger's turn in combat, they essentially can cast spells, quote unquote, by using berries. Another benefit of the berry ability is that you can actually use berries to cook Pokemon food, which is a very important resource in this game. So being able to have someone in your party that can almost guarantee berries at a consistent basis during periods of long travel is very, very useful. That's not everything though, because now your Pokemon and your Ranger rental Pokemon can now be mounted by a creature of their own size without having to make the athletics skill check. Normally, in order to mount a Pokemon or creature in this game, they have to be either your size or smaller in order for the mounting to be able to occur. However, if they are your size, then the mounted creature has to succeed on an athletic skill check, or they'll be unable to be mounted again until a short rest. So being able to eliminate that risk of mounting a creature of your own size or a Pokemon of your size is very, very useful. You can use this on Pokemon that can fly to sort of get you across some small gaps or some water without much trouble, which is very, very useful for you and the rest of the party. You also just gain 2 stat points to allocate to any non-HP trainer stats that you want, and you also gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP. At level 5, you get the Healing Bond ability. Your trainer can transfer up to 8 HP from their own HP to an adjacent creature as a bonus action. And if the target Pokemon is under the effects of the Battle Bond ability, there isn't any range limit on this ability at all. This ability is pretty much equivalent to something like Lay on Hands from other tabletop role-playing games. This just gives the Pokemon Ranger a little bit of an extra healing ability, just in case there's no other healers in the party, or you guys are just out of healing entirely. You have this as a backup option to use at a certain cost. You can also now use the Battle Bond ability up to 3 times per long rest, and you gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP. At level 6, you get the Ranger Radius ability, which is an upgrade to the Ranger Rental ability, giving it a 15-foot radius area of effect that is centered on a space within 60 feet that you can see. This allows multiple targets to be affected with one use of Ranger Rental and lets you command them all at once. So if a group of Pokemon just are clustered together, you can grab them all and just fire off some attacks with them, or perform a bunch of different tasks, allowing you to multitask easier while on the battlefield in case maybe there's hostages or some switches you gotta hit. You can sort of send your little guys out to go do that really quick. Yeah, very powerful crowd control ability. You also gain 2 stat points to allocate to any non-HP trainer stats, and you gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP. Take a shot every time I say that. Don't actually take a shot. I don't take responsibility for that. At level 7, you get Pokemon Whisperer, a long-awaited upgrade to the Poketalk ability. You now have advantage on all persuasion and deception checks against Pokemon that you speak with using Poketalk. And you also get 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP. This opens up just a lot of opportunities for out-of-combat role-playing and whatnot. You can maybe convince the Houndoom guards at a mansion to look the other way, or go search another side of the house, or whatnot, or try and barter with a Pokemon to make sure it doesn't tell anyone that you're here, or you just deceive a Pokemon into giving you some of its owner's gold or money or whatever. You know, there's a lot of applications to this. At level 8, you get the ability Energy Transfer. This is an upgrade to the Healing Bond ability, and it lets you transfer up to 12 HP to an adjacent target, and if you transfer the maximum amount of HP to them, they also gain advantage on their next attack or defensive saving throw roll. This is a very powerful ability. As a bonus action, you basically get to heal a target for up to 12 HP and grant them advantage on something. super powerful supportive move. Of course, you have to be adjacent to them to do this, but I think this really cements the Pokemon Ranger class as a sort of mini healer slash support class in the game, while also being able to dish out some pretty serious damage and spellcasting with berries. And of course, say it with me now, you gain 2 stat points to allocate to any non-HP trainer stats, and you gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP at this level. At level 9, your final ability is called United Sense. With United Sense, Pokemon under the effects of the Battle Bond ability are immune to reactions, and they also cause all hiding enemies within line of sight to fail their stealth roll when the user uses the search action. The big thing here is becoming immune to reactions. That's really huge, means you're not going to get hit by any opportunity attacks or things like Quick Attack, Bullet Punch, Mach Punch. You're just totally immune to those, which is fantastic. The nice bonus we have here is that when you use the search action to try and find enemies who are hiding or stealth, they automatically fail the stealth check if they're in your line of sight. So if you're fighting some enemies that are being a little sneaky or whatnot, you can just like that, reveal them to the party. But that's not all you get, because your Pokemon and Ranger Rental Pokemon can now be mounted, dismounted, carry another creature, or set down another creature as a free action. So before, mounting a creature or carrying another creature and all that cost a bonus action. This allows you to do that as a free action. So you can pick somebody up, run across the map, put them down, and you could still have your action and bonus action available instead of wasting your bonus action on picking them up or putting them down or whatever. And lastly, of course, you gain 1d10 trainer HP added to your max HP at this level. And that's all we have for the Pokemon Ranger. It's probably one of the more intricate classes in the game. I would say it's for players who want to be a little more of an all-rounder type with some powerful abilities that can come in handy in more niche situations, and who want to get their hands wet with a little pseudo spell casting with berries. I highly suggest going into the rule document down below in the description and checking out what all the different berries do and the effects that they give. That should give you a good idea of what the Pokemon Ranger is really capable of during battle. And keep in mind too that items can just be given to other players, so you can basically supply other players with pseudo spell casting as well, which is very powerful. Next time, we're going to take a look at the Pokemon Master class, which is a class you're going to want to pick if you want to collect Pokemon, as well as have a bit of a more volatile play style. So yeah, thank you for joining me for the Pokemon Ranger class. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what you think about the class, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!